What's in the news today? That's some good stuff. What? Damn it! What's going on, everybody? Golden Boy here, and we're at the top of November, and around this time we should have been excited about the release of Cyberpunk 2077, the latest blockbuster from CD Projekt Red, the developers of The Witcher. You guys already know the spiel, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I was probably the most excited for this game than I've been for any game in a really long time. So much so that I even bought material for the game, and I never do that. And in my excitement, I even joined a Cyberpunk campaign, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Cyberpunk is actually a pen and paper role-playing game. So I've just been all manners of pumped about this game, and to find out that it was delayed made me really sad. And to be clear, I totally understand the reasoning behind a delay. I mean, look, let's be honest. If any developer is able to get a game out during a global pandemic, it's impressive in of itself. Look at Riot, for example, in Valorant. The fact that they were able to release a multiplayer game like Valorant with high-tick servers, that is just mind-blowing. So I want to ensure that games like Cyberpunk are as perfect as can possibly be. Now, while Cyberpunk has been delayed to December 21st, 2020, let's be real, there are plenty of options that you can play that will quell your interest from here to now. And luckily, I'm here to help you out. And just a reminder to everyone, I stream on Twitch every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday through Saturday, where I play games like the ones featured on this list and multiplayer games. So join the Gilded Guild today. We'd love to see you on stream for some awesome conversations. If you have any questions about what we talk about here in this video, why don't you join up the stream and ask? So let's jump into the video. What is the purpose of it? Well, I'm gonna give you guys 3 viable options, as well as some notable additions to Cyberpunk-esque games that maybe have not caught your attention. And these are games that I've played myself, I find great enjoyment in, and they've helped to kind of quell the appetite, if you will, for Cyberpunk's inevitable launch in December. So the first game we're going to talk about is Katana Zero. Made by ASCII Soft and published by Devolver Digital, you play as a katana-wielding killer named the Dragon, and you're sent off on missions to dispatch certain targets and are given specific instructions by your handler. If you break those instructions, there will be consequences. As you play the game, not everything is as it seems, and it's not very normal, but granted, it's about as normal as a katana-wielding assassin in a dystopian neo-future could possibly get. But what makes Katana Zero really enjoyable is its rewind system, because as you go through each section of the level, there are different moments and different ways to tackle certain opponents. You can either throw an object at them, or maybe you could just go at them with your blade in hand, slow down time, get real fancy with it. And you can even recollect what you did previously by looking at like a replay, because everything in the game seems to be done with this retro synthwave audio cassette vibe to it. And in fact, the game starts every mission by having the katana-wielding assassin turn on his cassette tape player, his like Walkman, so he can listen to music as he's dicing and cutting through all these different people. It's a very weird take, but it's oddly enjoyable, and it's one of my favorite games released in a very long time. There was a point in time where I was just hooked on side-scrolling Switch games, and I was going through so many games, title after title after title. And then I stumbled upon Katana Zero, and then since then, I fell in love with it. It really fits the vibes of that neo-dystopian future, what basically Cyberpunk genre represents. And it's for that reason that it's a game that I think everyone should check out. And if you have Xbox Game Pass, it's actually free on Game Pass. And currently, it's $15, but on sale on Steam for just under $10. Now, you can get Katana Zero on Windows as well as your Xbox and your Nintendo Switch. So sorry, PlayStation users, unless that's changed, I haven't seen anything regarding the game on that platform. Now, the next game, or should I say games, are actually a series that is iconic in video game history, and that is Deus Ex. Now, the reason why I'm not talking about a specific Deus Ex game is because they're all so good and they're worth your time and attention. But what's nice is that you don't actually have to play each Deus Ex game in succession, you can kind of jump around because you don't have to play the games in sequential order, and they weren't even released in sequential order. The first Deus Ex game was released years ago, and it takes place very, very far into the future, whereas Deus Ex Human Revolution, for example, was released much sooner than, I believe 2007 was around the release date for that game, and it takes place in the past. So you can enjoy the games in a vacuum if you want, or if you just want to play a specific game, you can totally do that. But what's really awesome about Deus Ex is the feeling of choice. Now, this game had a lot of hands in it. Ion Storm, Square Enix, Eidos Montreal, but this is a legendary series for sci-fi noir fans, and I would say that this is probably the closest game to Cyberpunk 2077 in both storytelling and themes. The theme of it is that humanity has evolved, as there is more of an emphasis on using cybernetic augmentation to advance the capabilities of what it's meant to be human. Does it sound familiar? And what's cool is that throughout the various games, you take on the role of a protagonist that kind of sort of fits the same trope, right? Whether he's like a ex-military guy or a security person, they all kind of sort of blend together. They're cool characters, don't get me wrong, but thematically, they're all relatively similar. And I think that there is a reason for that, because the game allows you to play it the way you want to play it. If you want to enter a site and be a stone cold killing machine who goes in guns blazing, or if you want to handle business from the shadows and be a little bit more stealthier, the options are yours. Dialogue choices have ramifications. You can augment your character to do a variety of different things, whether it be super cool jumps or to become faster or even to cloak your body. There are a lot of really cool things that you can do, and that's why I feel like Deus Ex and the entire series really matches closely to what we're going to experience with Cyberpunk 2077, and it's worth checking it out if you've never played a game like this before. And the good news is, if you want to get into Deus Ex right now, as of posting this video, you can get the entire collection for $10. You did not hear me wrong, folks. It is available on Steam right now for $10, an 88% discount. Usually it's around $88 or something like that, but they sliced the price, and I don't even know why. So if you want to check it out, go right now. And just an FYI, this video is recording on November 2nd, 2020. So I don't know if the game's going to be on sale when I, post this video up. Who knows? But I'm letting you know right now, if you happen to watch this video, just go and make sure it's on sale, because $10, you get so many games. This is a collection you do not want to miss out on. And the last game on my list is something that I just played recently, and it's called Ghost Runner. Now, this is a just released game from One More Level, 3D Realms, Split Game Ironworks, 505, and All In Games, which is basically the most inspired cyberpunk game we could possibly ask for in the downtime between the release of, or when we were expecting the release of Cyberpunk 2077, to when it inevitably comes out in December 21st. Now, the game puts you in the mind of the Ghost Runner, a cyborg reborn with the purpose of completing the mission. As you play, you're taken to various cyberpunk-esque themed locations, and you're tasked with wall running and dicing your way through opponents with abilities, and you essentially use your trusty blade to get the job done. Now, I actually had a chance to play this on stream just the other day, and let me tell you, I had a freaking blast. All right, we got the blink. I still don't understand how blink works, but I guess we'll just go ahead and take it for right now. Okay, we did it.
These are just bad.
The gameplay is fast, it's frantic, and while games like Deus Ex are going to give you that choice and they're going to give you that flexibility that you will expect in Cyberpunk 2077, what this game does is just scratch the itch for fans of cyberpunk genre games, but also fans of games like Mirror's Edge. I definitely suggest checking it out. It's not a very long game, but it's worth your time. I spent about 5 hours playing it, and I beat it in my first playthrough, but there's so much more to do. You can earn new swords, new artifacts. You can even figure out how to do things differently. I was very much emphasizing the use of my blade in my first playthrough, but if I go back and play it again, I'm probably going to try and emphasize a little bit more of my ability usage rather than my blades. There's also a natural speedrunning element to the game as well, so anyone who likes to complete levels quickly and go up against their friends in time attack, the game tracks all that information. It is awesome. I genuinely enjoy it, and I highly suggest everyone check this one out, as it just came out on October 27th, 2020. You can pick up Ghost Runner on Steam for $24, $23.99, because you know they always like to shave off that penny. And you can do so right now. As I mentioned before, it's available, and I think you'll really find joy in it. And it's a good way to hold you off until Cyberpunk 2077 launches. Now, in the making of this video, I actually turned to my community, the Gilded Guild on the Discord server, which, by the way, if you want to join the server, I'll make sure I put a link in the description down below. We'd love to have you as we talk about all things video games, wrestling, and esports. It's always great to have new members join the community. But I did ask the community, what games should I mention that maybe I'm not as familiar with in this video? And they came through with some awesome suggestions. One of those notables was a game called Valhalla. Now, I haven't done a lot of research on this game, but there was actually a fantastic video done by a channel called Source Gaming that I'm also going to link in the description down below so you can check that out, where Source Gaming dives deeper into what this game is all about. But the gist of it is that you play as a bartender, and every time you mix drinks and maybe a customer comes up and asks for something, you learn a little bit more about the story of this world and where everything is going. But what's particularly awesome about the game is that as you mix drinks, you can give the patrons the wrong beverage, and then that will trigger a different event. Rather than the game being like, oh no, you did this wrong, start over, it actually keeps going, which is pretty cool and kind of apropos for games that fit the cyberpunk genre. You never know where you're gonna go next, and I think it's for that reason that Valhalla is certainly worth your time. Now, I did some research and I can only find Valhalla on Steam. Right now it's available for $15, and it's well worth checking it out. I know that I'm personally gonna be checking it out because I'm kind of curious as to what this whole game is about. So huge shout out to Scan as well as Crucius in my community for suggesting that game. And the next notable mention is Ruiner. Now, this one was brought up to me in my chat as I was playing Ghost Runner. They had suggested Ruiner. Now, Ruiner is a top-down shooter. Developed by Raycon Games and Devolver Digital, Ruiner came out in September of 2017, and right now it currently goes for $5 on the Steam Marketplace. I think that it's a no-brainer. If you have $5 set to the side, I look at it like this. You can either get a cup of coffee from Starbucks, or you can make a cup of coffee at home, and then you can also get Ruiner. You can chill out, you can play Ruiner, and you can sip your coffee. Pretty well worth the time. The game is set in a dystopian future. You play as a character that is essentially tasked with doing the deeds of this very nefarious person. And there isn't all that much information that I have on the game personally because I haven't played it yet. But looking at the trailers and everything that I've looked from the game so far as a top-down shooter, it looks pretty awesome. Now, granted, top-down shooters aren't necessarily my cup of tea, but if you happen to like that fast and frantic action, this game very well might be for you. So yeah, that's basically gonna do it. What did you think about the list, and did I miss any games that maybe have caught your interest that fit the cyberpunk genre? Let me know in the comment section down below. I love to hear from you. If you happen to like this video, make sure to give it a like. You can also subscribe to the channel where I cover a variety of FPS games, because look, the reality is this is probably my favorite genre in all of gaming, and that's part of the reason why I've been doing these videos to begin with. So if you want updates on games like Cyberpunk or Halo, Apex Legends, Valorant, Call of Duty, etc., this is 100% the place to be. And as I mentioned a few times, I also stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/GoldenboyFTW every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday through Saturday at various times, but I'll be sure to post links on my Discord as well as on social media when I do go live. But safely, you can see me live 4 p.m. Eastern time on those days. Once again, let me know if I missed anything in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and thank you so much for the love on the channel. I know that this is going to be a long process, and I'm in it for the long haul, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos that I'm putting out. I recently put out an Xbox Series X unboxing as well as a news update regarding Halo Infinite and Apex Legends Season 7. Let me know what you think, and be sure to share to your friends all around the world, because your boy's trying to hit 10,000 subs. So let's hit that goal. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.